2026 is finally here. Happy New Year's and peace and blessings to you. But what I do want to speak about is how you can make 2026 a year of transformation for you. You see, a lot of people, what they do is they'll make these New Year's resolutions, new year, new me, and nothing ever changes. And it happens year after year after year after year. And at some point, we have to look in the mirror and figure out why is nothing changing. And that's exactly what I want to break down. 5 core principles in this video that will guarantee you that in 2026 that it will be your year of success. And just before I go into these principles, I want to do a quick introduction of who I am. My name is Trillionaire Trey, and my whole goal when I call myself Trillionaire Trey has nothing to do with monetary gains. It has nothing to do with money, but my goal is to positively impact 1 trillion lives before I leave here. And those souls that I impact, it might not be that I individually touched them. It might be somebody that I was able to impact that was able to impact somebody else, but it was due to me impacting them that the other person was able to be impacted. So that's who I am. I was able to take my spot from a place where, just a little bit about my background, honestly, I was hustling, I was in the streets, I was doing what I had to do. I ended up getting incarcerated, and from now, I transformed my whole life during that 46 months in federal prison. I transformed my whole reality. Now I've published a book. I have started a company. Like, it's so many things that I've been able to do. And yes, I'm still striving. I'm still working towards my goals. I'm not exactly where I want to be in life, but what I can say is I have reached a level of success where I am proud of myself, and it's due to these principles that I'm about to share with you. So enough about me. Let's talk about how we can make 2026 your greatest year. And the first principle is going to be crucial to it, and that is eliminating the care of validation from others. So many times we get caught up in the traps of caring too much what people think about us. We have to care about what we think about ourselves. The only person's opinion that should matter, in my opinion, is what you think about yourself and what God thinks about you, because there's no separation between the two. As long as you know that you're doing the purpose that you were set here to do, that God put you here to do, and you know that your actions are aligning so that way you can push whatever message it is that you want to push, support whatever cause that you want to support. Hopefully it's a positive cause that you're pushing, something that is meaningful to the world. That's what we're set here to do. But when we get sidetracked to worry about what everyone thinks and put off what we think, that's neglecting the God within yourself. That's neglecting your God-given purpose and your God-given talent because you're too worried about what the next person will say. Who cares what the next person will say? Because just being real with your reality, the next person's opinion on you is going to change due to whatever situation and circumstance that you are in life. A person might look at you very highly at one point in your life, but they're only looking at you very highly because you have materialistics or you have something that they feel like you can benefit them from. But you can be that same person and you're not in that situation anymore, and now that person looks down upon you. So why are you caring about an opinion of a person that's going to change anyway? You need to make sure that you're satisfied with yourself, and like I said, that you are pleasing God. Other than that, it doesn't matter what anybody else thinks of you, because you are here to serve your mission and your purpose and your calling. So I don't want to go too deep for that, but understand we have to stop letting others define what success is to us. And that is so critical. So stop caring about what everybody thinks. Stop caring about what everybody says. That business idea that you have, start it. I don't care who says it's a bad idea. If God gave it to you and you work at it, you stay persistent, it is going to work. Because God gave it to you for a reason. So that's number one. Define success for yourself and stop caring about what other people think. Because so many people are stuck because they care too much about what the next person is going to say about them. Stop caring. Principle number 2. We have to be disciplined. We have to learn how to be disciplined. And when I say discipline, set up a routine for yourself. One thing that prison did do for me that I can say is a positive thing. And this can be learned from more than just prison. This can be learned from a job as well. So don't think you have to go through the same experience. No, you can get this same discipline from a different experience, like working a job. It's a discipline thing. You have to get up at a certain time. You do a certain thing. This is to keep yourself disciplined. This is to keep yourself in order, even when you operate your own business. Me personally, when I operate my business, I had to set myself on a schedule. Just like I'm working a job, because if not, guess what? My day is just going to go, and time is going to get wasted. And time is your most valuable asset. So what we have to learn how to do is time management. It's going to be critical, but that takes discipline in order to do that. In order for you to have time management, you have to be disciplined. You have to know that, look, this is what I need to have done for the day. And this is a small task that I can give you that I know will greatly impact, and you will see results instantaneously. Set 3 small goals for the day, big or small. It doesn't have to be small, it doesn't have to be big, but make sure you set 3 tasks for the day, every single day, and make sure those tasks get done no matter what. I don't care how big, I don't care how small. It's not about how big or how small the task, it's about your being consistent, you're being disciplined, you're setting tasks and they're getting done regardless. And that will greatly help your discipline. And you'll see results instantly with that, because I've seen it and I've seen others have results with that as well. Now, number 3, we're going to go into, and this is a big one when you're talking about getting into entrepreneurship, when you're talking about starting your own company, when you're talking about doing anything that has to do in my field, because I'm a business consultant. So I help entrepreneurs get access to capital, grow, scale, marketing strategies. Like I said, I studied so many things about business during that time, and I've been able to execute so many different strategies that I've learned. And even before I got locked up, I was an entrepreneur. I had my own business doing videography. And one thing that I've learned with all of those different things was you have to learn how to delay gratification. You have to learn that you're going to put in work right now, but you're not going to get paid for it right this second. This is not a job. When you're starting a business, it's not like your 9-to-5 job. You're not going to show up and get paid just for showing up. No, you're going to consistently have to provide value. You're going to consistently have to show up. You're going to consistently have to keep showing up to the marketplace and let the people know, look, this is what I can provide. And you're going to have to keep telling them and showing them, because you have to build trust. So you'll have to know that, look, delayed gratification is the critical part in being successful. Because when we're always in this microwave culture where we want it right now, we want to get everything right this second, we don't want to wait for everything, we want everything to be instantaneous, it doesn't serve you. Because what we fail to realize is that process that we're going through, that phase that we're going through, and the things that we're going through in those phases while you're waiting for that gratification, there's beauty in that delay. God doesn't put you through the delay just for the sake of you going through the delay. You're in the delay because it's the preparation. It's a lot of things I had to do to prepare myself. And yes, we want to have the things we want. Trust me, it's still things I want right now, that I desire right now, that I know I will have, but I've learned how to delay the gratification and not focus on the result, but focus on the outcome. And for example, I started this YouTube channel last year, and I haven't been as consistent as I wanted to be. But what I will say, I'm glad that I started, because it was the thing that I said I was going to start, and I made sure that I started. So I made that promise to myself. Now the promise is this year, okay, cool, we started, but we got to be more consistent. We got to be more disciplined. So now what it's going to be is, in 2026, I'm not focused on how many subscribers. I'm not focused on how many views. What I'm focused on is I need to be dropping a video every single week. Every single week I'm going to be dropping a video. And that's the goal. That is what I'm focused on. I'm not focused on how much money I can make and how many followers I can get. No, you focus on the outcome that you know that you can control. And what I know I can control, I know I can upload a video a week if I say I'm serious about this. Because at the end of the day, I need to be doing this anyway. Because as a business owner, if you're a business owner, you're the CEO of a company, you need to be letting people know what your message is. You need to be in front of people and pushing your company, telling the people about your service, telling the people about your product, and not in a salesy way, but just to let people know what value you can add. Just like me, I'm not trying to sell anything. I want to help people win. That is literally my focus in life, because I've seen when I was locked up in the bottom of the bottom of the bottom, like you can see like, oh my gosh, there's so many talented and great people in this world. But our mentality is horrible. Our work ethics are horrible. Our mindsets are horrible. So guess what I made it my mission? I want to start a company that can change that. So I'm going to push that message until I'm blue in the face. I'm going to push that message, and I don't care when I get paid from it, because the goal is not, okay, when can I get paid? The goal is the mission that God put me on. I want everybody to understand you have God within you, and you got to move with that spirit. Just like my shirt says, move with purpose. We have to move with purpose. We have to move with integrity. And we have to understand that the government and the systems have programmed us to not value ourselves. They've programmed us to see ourselves as less than what we are, but we are infinite beings. And that is my message, and that's what I'm going to push. So you have to learn how to delay gratification and focus on something that's greater than the money that you can receive. Because the same reason why we can't get ahead a lot of times is because we can't delay the gratification. We want the money, so you're chasing the money. Forget about the money. Become the person. You say you want $1 million. You say you want to be a millionaire. What would a millionaire be doing? That's why, like I said in the beginning of the video, you have to set that schedule. What is a millionaire schedule? If you had $1 million in your bank account, what would you be moving like? And that's how you get $1 million. You don't get $1 million by trying to chase the $1 million. No, you have to become that person. And that person has to learn how to delay gratification, because every millionaire that I know, every successful person that I've studied knows that you have to delay gratification. And I know I kind of went off for a minute, but that is crucial. So I had to go on a rant for a second, because we have to understand that is crucial. Learn how to delay that gratification, because that will guarantee your success. Number 4, your environment. And I can go on a whole nother rant about this one, but I will not go into a whole nother rant. But what I will say, it is critical. Your environment is so critical. I will give you a small example that everyone probably already knows, but I won't assume that everybody knows. I'll give the example. Imagine a fruit in a bowl, and one of these fruits starts to get mold on. Common knowledge is, if you don't remove this one fruit that has the rotten and the stuff on it from this bowl, all the other fruits will start to get moldy. So that right there is God's way of showing, look, put yourself around people who don't want nothing in life. Put yourself around people who have no goals in life. Put yourself around people who are not aspiring to anything, and you won't aspire to anything. It's simple. Put yourself around people who are on the same trajectory as you, who on the same life path as you, who want things out of life, who are consistent, who are dedicated, who are hard workers, who are achieving income goals that you want to achieve. Guess what? You're going to eventually have those same outcomes, because you're surrounding yourself around that environment. Your environment is critical, which is why community is so critical, which is why I'm building, and I'm working so hard on building my community and getting up the infrastructure set up. So if you're interested in being in a community where you can be around like-minded people who are high thought leaders and thinking about investment properties and thinking about business and thinking about how we can come together collectively, just drop down below, so that way I can add you to the list. So that way, when everything is built on the infrastructure, I can add you into this community that we're building, because it's going to be a beautiful thing when you can surround yourself around like-minded individuals who are on the same path as you, because that impacts your success so greatly. And I can give you a fast example, because I don't want to go off too long on this subject matter. I just want to provide key things that you guys can implement. But just like this morning, man, like, it's the first day of the year. And when I hop on the call this morning, I didn't even know they was doing the call, but I'm in a mentorship, and I hopped on this call, and that's why it's so important that you have those type of things. And people value money so much, but I value relationships. I value the people I surround myself with, which is why I paid for the mentorship. And it was thousands of dollars that I paid for this mentorship, but the call reminded me of why the money didn't matter. Because instantly when I'm on that call and I'm hearing people who are sitting here telling me they've spent $100,000 just on travel alone. They spent $80,000 on hotel fees. That's $180,000 that they spent just traveling and seeing the world. I'm someone, I want to see the world. I want to travel. So when I'm able to be right there in hand's reach with somebody who is doing the thing I want to do, and who's telling me, look, I'm willing to show you the blueprint, and they're helping me along the way, that is a win-win situation. But it comes from environment. It comes from putting yourself around an environment where they're doing that, because I also could have been in an environment, because I've been in environments where, guess what, the first day of the year, I'm coming in on a hangover. Oh, we had a good time last night. I'm bringing in the new year on a low vibrational, so how can I expect any great results if I'm bringing my new year in on a low vibrational? I'm going to end it low vibrational 9 times out of 10. So environment's so important because, like I said, it helps you be accountable. It helps you be consistent, because when they did that call, it inspired me. Like, what? Let's do it. And then I actually got to speak to them like, hey, man, look, I'm working on my cash injection challenge. I'm working on such and such. I'm working on the webinar. I'm working on, I need your help. Oh yeah, the event in Atlanta. I'm about to be there. I'm about to be in the room with millionaires. So how can I not be a millionaire? My mindset is I'm already wealthy in my mind. No, it's not there in the bank account yet, but I'm not worried about the bank account, because guess what we just talked about? Delayed gratification. I'm not worried about that. I'm worried about the person that I'm becoming, because I know who I am. I don't care if anybody else sees, just because I don't have the Lambo, and I know who I am. So other people's opinions, it doesn't matter. So get yourself around people who think on that type of level, so that way you can adopt those thoughts. I didn't always think like this. It came from studying, it came from reading, it came from learning, it came from being around people who thought like this, and I was able to hear their thought process, and it impacted mine like, I ain't never think of it like that. So please put yourself around a positive environment. Like I said, if you need that positive environment, we're creating that. We're building the infrastructure right now. So comment in the comments below. I'll make sure I add you on the waiting list, and we'll put you in there, because I understand the importance of it. And the final one that we're going to go ahead and end off on is going to be the tester of all. This is going to determine it all. This last one is going to determine if you're really going to have success in your life this year, or if it's going to be just like every other year where you make a New Year's resolution and you never do anything with it. Consistency. We have to be consistent. And I'll give you a great example of this, man. And this is a real life example of when I was starting my company. Starting out, I understand I needed a board of advisors, so that way when I'm going to get access to capital, it makes me look better on paper to have a board of advisors. Because when you say you're running a company, but yet it's just you, to a bank, it doesn't really look like you're operating as a true business, because no business can do it all. You know, I can't, if I'm owning a restaurant, for example, I can't wash the dishes, I can't greet the people, I can't bust the tables, I can't be the server and the cook at the same time. It doesn't work like that. So that's how the banks view you. So I'm getting my board together, and I get some people together that I respected, and I saw the things that they was working on. I'm like, look, man, we can all align and help each other build what we're looking to build. And under this company, we all cross promote. And what I noticed is everybody was excited. They liked the idea of it. We made a commitment. We're going to get on calls every Monday, and this is what we're going to do. Everybody's with it. As time goes on, people start falling off. People's not getting on the calls. They're having excuses there. But guess what? In my mind, I never cared. I never cared, because I already knew this anyway. I already knew coming in, look, I'm going to be consistent. I'm going to show up. I'm going to lead by example to see. And look, at the end of the day, I brought the opportunity to you. And if you value the opportunity and you're going to stay consistent, then cool. If not, it is what it is. But I know, as me bringing the opportunity to you, I'm going to show up, and I'm going to stay consistent every day, because that's me. I've always been that. I've always been a person who's been consistent. If I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it. That's just always been my character. I've always had morals and respect and integrity. Like I've always moved like that. Even when I was doing what I was doing in the streets, my integrity was always there, which is why my situation played out how it's played out, and I got blessed because I'm just that type of person. But going back to the topic at hand, people fell off and it all came due to consistency. See, people have a problem with being consistent. They can agree to something and it's cool short term and they're hype and they're motivated, but when the motivation is gone or when they don't have the instantaneous results like I just talked about with the delayed gratification, if they don't see that it's working right this second and it's not putting money in their hands, they get discouraged because they don't have the foresight to see that, you know what, what I'm working on is not an overnight process. But when I got it all the way, they can't see the vision. Some people just can't see the vision, and it's okay because, like I said from the beginning, I don't care about anybody else, and you don't care about anybody else either when it comes to your vision. Because not everybody's going to see what God showed you. But what it shows is who is consistent. And what I can tell you, the results that I've been getting in my life versus theirs, it's no shade, it's no love lost. I still respect them all as brothers, as men. But like I said, I see the results. And they see the results too. They might not say nothing, they might not comment or whatever, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because, like I said, I'm focused on impacting the lives that God sent me here to impact. And I know whoever hears my voice and it resonates with them and they're able to take action on it and they're able to impact their life and make a change on their life, then that message was meant for them. If you hear the message and it bounces off you and in one ear out the other ear, hey, the message wasn't meant for you. And that's perfectly fine too. But that is how you're going to ultimately make sure that 2026, 2027, 2028, 2029, 2030, and every year beyond is the greatest year of your life. Because you've now taken control of your life. You've now taken ownership of everything by following these 5 simple principles, man, that will change your life forever. I hope that this video impacted you. I hope that this video it shifted your mindset a little bit. I hope that this video actually put a fire inside you to make you want to take action on the things that you said you was going to take action on. I'm going to continue dropping this content, man, on funding, on how you can grow and scale your business. Most importantly, I should have started with mindset, because if you don't know how to transform your mind and start to shift your perspective, it doesn't matter how much money you have, how much money you make, how much credit you get access to. It doesn't matter anything if your mindset isn't in the right spot. So I want to continue dropping this content, and please share, like, subscribe, and I appreciate your time, man. Peace, blessings, abundance. Happy New Year to you, man. And let's get after it.